Alright, now we're going to do the Psyche Blue Butterfly.
First of all, let's take this loop out. Then, put the embroidery in the center. Unscrew the screw. Buckle and tighten. Pull the cloth tight again, and tighten the loop. That should do it. Okay, we will now start the embroidery process. First, prepare 2 strands of dark color thread. I have already finished the other half. As for parts, first, we embroider the darkest, the most marginal area. Take the needle out from here, and then put it in. Because it has a curve, so directly embroidered straight line, there will be white space next to it. So we need to turn the corner and put a needle on the side. And then you go here, and you put the needle. The way I stitch is a combination of long short stitches, when you put the needle down, don't show the bottom line or the needle. Don't show the white part of the bottom. When taking the needle out, you don't necessarily have to follow the dividing line exactly. You can slightly exceed or retract it by a bit of distance. Either way is fine. At the time of production, it's best to draw the direction of the lines with a pen. Make a rough sketch or the line will go astray. Okay, here's what we need to pay attention to. When we embroider, the trajectory of a line is curved. It is not embroidered to the bottom in a smooth way. So, as the line moves down, it will slightly be based on the center. And then it turns a corner. When turning, we use short needles for turning operations. Start the needle from here. The place where the needle comes out should be kept slightly still. But the point of the next needle is changed. The thread goes down when the needle goes down. In this way, you can ensure that the direction of the line is turned down. The point where the needle comes out is the same as the previous point. But when the needle is placed, the line should remain downward. And then, the lines have to be parallel, the same as above. Because this place doesn't make a big curve. After a little bit of embroidery, it would be more natural to stop for a while. But this line is about to turn. Just like on the right. The top line is slanted upward, and the bottom line is slanted downward. Rayons bend naturally, which means it's not directly angled. It does not go from a curved line to a right angle directly. It's naturally curved. So before embroidering, we're going to draw some lines on the bottom. That way the lines don't get lost. When we embroider the second and third parts, we should notice that the span of the lines is very high. It's not like going from here to here, where the line span is so small that you can cross it with a single stitch, since these places span a great deal. We'd better go into steps. First, take the needle out from here and put it in here. And then the needle comes out of here. And then the needle goes down from here. It'll make the lines a little cleaner. If it is not divided into two steps, the lines have no curvature and appear straight. And then, when the needle goes down, we can put the needle above the first part. Try not to put the needle at the junction. Don't sew at the edge either, preferably over a distance. And then, this is where he puts the needle. And it's important to note, bend the lines a little bit. If there's any winding underneath, you can fill it back in. Notice the edge of the outermost line. Follow the direction of the bottom line exactly. That is to go on the line. But the inside edge line can be jagged. That's more natural. Okay, let's go ahead and embroider this part. The colors used in the embroidery are the two colors in the middle. Same as the one on the right. The bottom is the two colors of these two sides. We embroider this part first. Also start from the outside. While embroidering, it's best to start in the middle. Because it can provide you with a reference point. We control the angle with this line in the middle. Fill in the bottom part first. After that, fill in the top part. The lines here also have to turn, just at a very small angle. After completing it, if you feel it is a bit monotonous, or if you still have some gaps to fill, you can fill in the color with the lightest blue, and the lines will follow the original art. The side can be scattered to fill a little, so that the color will be richer and more flexible. When filling with gold thread, we should pay attention. When taking out the gold thread from the material package, it had several strands and we untwisted it first. You can see that there are several strands of gold thread. Pull out one strand and use it to make this gold thread this decoration. And notice this. When we embroider the gold thread, we should distribute it evenly and not pile it together, nor leave a blank. The gold thread needs to be spread evenly. For these two small wing areas, we need to first align them with gold thread. After outlining, then spread the gold thread over it. Finally, when spreading out, we need to ensure that the gold thread extends beyond the outer edge. This is because, if the edges are not embroidered well enough, the gold thread can play a role in covering flaws. Below, we do the decoration of gold thread. If the embroidery before is not good, you can completely use gold thread to cover the flaw. So don't worry. When you are doing it, the length of the line is a little bit bigger. For example, from here to here. Then back again, from here to here. And finally a small segment at the end. The line goes like this, but do not cross directly from the starting point to the end. It's going to be unnatural, because it's going to be Rodian. So we're going to do it in segments. But the bottom part of the gold line is basically a straight line. When making it, it feels like the gold thread is flowing outwards. Start with a strand of gold thread from here. If you have a bad direction when making it, you can compare it like this. Compare. The gold thread should be slightly outside the boundary line. Beyond the boundary, Actually, this part is not difficult. It just needs to look good to you. Make it until you're satisfied. But don't focus the lines too much. Spread them out. Just feel it. For the gold line, beyond the outer boundary, the spacing between each line had better be uniform. Make it a little more uniform, so that it's more regular, better looking. If you want to fill it in a little bit here, that's fine. After making the top wings, we're going to loop the middle part with gold thread. Then take a step back and renew. Relatively simple. Once you've circled it, you can decorate it. Decorations like that. And then we're up here. Draw a small semicircle and use the strands of gold. Start embroidering here. Then take a small step. Then go back a little bit. One more small step. Between the center points of this curved circle, take the needle out from here. Stitch a straight line. Then, stitch another straight line between the center points of the left half of the circle. The right side too. Then it will be divided into 4 parts. In the middle of each part, embroider a small section. Then use gold rice beads, light blue rice beads, and light purple rice beads to make embellishments. Feel free to mix and match. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. The round blue rhinestone was stitched onto it with 2 strands of transparent thread. A stitch first. Then put the round blue rhinestone on it and hold it firmly. There are 4 holes under the round blue rhinestone. Pull the needle out and pass it through the hole. And hold it in place. Then, make a stitch under the round blue rhinestone. And then make a stitch beside it. And then we take out the square blue rhinestone. Put it under the round blue rhinestone and do the same thing as the top. After fixing the square blue rhinestone, we will fix 3 5mm pearls and 4 4mm pearls around it, like this. Then, in the gaps between them, we thread 3 to 4 small pearl rice beads. Then, drop the pearl rice beads down and string a light blue rice beads or light purple rice beads. You can mix and match freely. Then, thread it straight back through its hole and make another stitch. This will give the effect of standing up. And we do the same thing here. The color of the beads can also be matched freely. And just like that, the top beads just stands. or stringing the smallest beads on top is also acceptable. Let's say I string 3 light purple rice beads and then string the smallest pearl. And then go back. Just like this. The smallest pearl stands up on the top. This is what it looks like when it's finished. When made, the center is raised and gradually slowly spread out. In these parts, it can be embellished with small gold rice beads. You can also add embellished on small wings. Next, we will decorate the edge of the butterfly's wings. String 4 to 6 black beads in the gap between each gold thread. Then, the bottom wing is basically 3 black beads. Let's start from here. When you put the needle down, you can cross the boundary line to help cover imperfections. But don't cover the gold thread. The next thing we do is this pendulous decoration. Thread 3 beads first, with any color combination you like. And then fixate light yellow rhinestones. Here is a gold rice beads. Run it through here, and then string a little rice beads. Let's see if it's vertical. Then start stitching below this point. Then string 3 small beads to the side, and then fix a light yellow rhinestones under it. Just like that, and then just repeat this operation on the side. One thing to note, this place is where its tail begins to embroider. Then, string a light purple rice beads, then string a medium pearl, and the smallest pearl. Finally, string 7 pearl rice beads. And attach a teardrop blue rhinestone underneath. That should do it. Then we use transparent thread to hold the pearl in place and prevent it from falling off. secure the top bead first. Embroider a stitch under the top bead. Just keep it from falling. And then you put a medium pearl on it and hold it in place. The operation is the same as above. Then, the remaining 7 beads are secured in place several times. Split it into 1, 2, 3. The bottom one is 1 stitch each under the bead. Next we make butterfly antenna. First cut a length of Indian thread about 2 centimeters. Then stretch the ends until they are fully extended. Then, fold it in half down the middle. Then put the Indian thread under the butterfly's head. Then secure it with transparent line. In this case, it is already embroidered, and then we take out the frame. It is best to press the embroidery marks with an iron to keep them flat. Then, we take out the picture frame, which has a transparent plate inside. Flip it over first, then put the clear plate on. Put it in the middle, put the extra underneath here. Fold down the excess on top, turn it over, and see if the pattern is in the middle. Hold the cloth in place by hand. Then 2 strands of thread are used to fix the embroidered cloth. Remove the needle from the bottom, and then insert it from the diagonal upward. Pull the line a little tighter. Tie the knot here at the end. And then I'll stand it up and see if the pattern is in the middle. And we do the same thing here. Then, preferably at the end of the edge. Okay, when you're done, turn it over and snap the frame back on. And then install it. And that's all done.